It's 3:30 a.m. exact. And now, like, I wish I could have a bath or a shower. I have no place I can get to take a bath or a shower. Thanks, fake ass Corey from YMCA. And also, I tried to go back to sleep. I'm surprised. I must have been really sleepy and tired. I tried to go back to, I mean, I went to sleep and, I don't know. I guess I was able to sleep good, but I think I remember twisting and turning a lot, and I had to pee. So, I had to wait till those clowns were gone. Those perp clowns. I had to wait until they were gone, and then go use the bathroom. You know, and so now I try to go back to sleep. It's like 3:31 a.m. or something. I try to go back to sleep, and me trying to go back to sleep, um, they vibrated me so hard, violently, like no touch, but no touch assault, and that um, like make me feel like as if my organs are boiling, like as if as if water. It feels like as if my organs are boiling without burning. And it's like it's really quiet out here at the moment, and so it's like they strategically wait till I try to go to sleep. To it's bothersome enough that I cannot ignore it. I mean, how and why am I supposed to continue to ignore my organs vibrating? You know, it can be, it's torture and it's borderline painful. It feels like as if my organs are trying to run outside of my body. And this is not funny. This is not a game at all. Somebody keep repeatedly torturing and abusing you like a doggone voodoo doll. And then the more you speak out against it, the more they do you even worse. The more you speak out, and then they make you out to look like as if you're a crazy person and stuff like that. Just like people aren't taking me seriously. I'm being largely ignored by the so-called TI community, like as if I'm just invisible. You know, and so and the fakest TIs are the main ones who try to have the biggest mouth about glorifying themselves as real. You know, and then they're always talking about fake TIs when they're fake themselves. But I hate when a narcissistic control freak fake friend try to make restrictions on your life with stuff that's not their business. And if you didn't know them, that they would be know them to be able to tell you what to do with your life. And when you stand up to them, they cut off all contact with you and tell you burned all your bridges. Like say if they try to say, "Oh, you should get rid of your storage unit," and if I respond, "Well, you didn't pay for this storage unit," and you know, or they aggressively demand the answer. "Oh, what all you got up in there? Well, what do you need a storage for?" And they aggressively demand the answer for specifically what items do I have in my storage unit, like that and stuff. Like you don't have that authority I mean, you supposed to be a doggone friend or whatever. Like, that this lady tried to tell me you can't sleep by the bay, and then she she tried to say, oh, you should go move. And this is one of the things I was, holding in. My emotions that I was holding in and stuff like that. You know, you can't go sleep by the bay. And she kept saying, you can't sleep by the bay. You can't sleep by the bay. You can't sleep by the bay. And I'm like, well, they ran me off from the other sleep spot, and I don't know of anywhere else to go. You know, and I'm not walking 4 or 5 miles a night, to go somewhere. So then she'll be like, oh, well, can't you go and move? I mean, can't you go and get in a hotel room 1 or 2 towns over, and then you can always come back? And it's like, well, wow, I have to pay more money to get on a Greyhound bus to go 1 or 2 towns over to get in a hotel room. And I mean, that's what she kept trying to say, and so she tried to mock and laugh at me. So my, you like trying to say, come winter, that because y'all know I said I don't like dealing with cold. So she's like, well, come winter, come winter, you think that you cold. Watch, if you're sleeping by the bay and it's still winter, then you for sure gonna be cold. Like, I said, well, it's not a choice for me to sleep by the bay. I mean, and the fact that she laughed like, you think you think that you think that you're gonna you think you hate cold weather, but watch you be really cold, you know, and stuff like that. And so she act like she thinks she's invincible, like as if she's untouchable by God, like as if God is always protecting her, and like as if, like as if she's like as if she's invincible of, being harmed by God. And when I say that, like, as if, how if we commit a sin, then God will, punish us or whatever, So she make it like as if she's untouchable by God, and I mean, it's like me and her could never get along if we're supposed to be targeted. But I mean, she's like defends and agrees with the perps sometimes and stuff like that. And I'm like, why are you doing that? You know. So it's like I feel like I gotta question you as a real TI. If first of all, in your videos you don't even show your face, and then and then you turn. I just don't like people trying to control me or dictate my life and stuff. you know. And she said like some other things to make me upset. You know. And so it's like one thing, like the first time me and her had an altercation, I don't want to talk about it, but last year, it was last year, and it was May 31st last year, and so then she went 4 months, almost 4 months without, no, not 4, maybe almost 3 months without talking to me. But I mean, and then it's like our main like feuds is basically with her defending the perps against me, or sometimes she act like, she don't realize that she can be insensitive sometimes, So now I really don't have anybody to talk to. But that made me cut her off when she's like, ha ha ha, you think that you're gonna be you think you don't like cold weather. Oh, what, you gonna be cold sleeping by the bay? And she is trying to say, you can't sleep by the bay. You can't sleep by the bay. You know, you don't have that authority. If you way in a different up north, you don't have the authority or the right to tell me where to sleep. Bad enough, the perps are freaking trying to, dictate my life and tell me what to do, and I have them blocked. And it's like, why is everybody trying to control me and tell me what to do? And people, you know, they think I should move up north where I hate cold weather. And I've been on West Coast. I hate everything about West Coast because people don't seem like they're human, especially in Los Angeles. It's difficult communicating with people. you know, it's like trying to communicate with non-humans in Los Angeles. So, I don't know. I was holding that in, and I felt like I needed to express, my feelings and stuff, because, like, when I try to confront her about saying something before, and then she tried to gaslight me and lie and say she never said that and stuff like that. It's like, why y'all supposed to be targeted but then act narcissistic? So they had this guy, supposedly a TI, but then he's younger than me, and he was one of the people like bitching at me about my storage unit. Or if I tell him what I'm going through, he dismissed me and shut me up, and then overtalk me and talk for 5 hours and complain about what he's going through. But then I'm not allowed to get a word in on what I gotta, what my struggles are. And so he's like, well, I barely have any money, and I gave you the little bit of money. I gave you $145, and I'm not a perp, and this and that, whatever. But I never said he was a perp, but he's like controlling, narcissistic, and mean. It felt like, the fact that he donated money, then he feel like he got ownership over like all my life decisions, and think he could control me. And if he tried to tell me one time, get rid of your storage unit, and I told him I can't because I have, certain important things. Oh, what is it that you got? None of your business. And then he tried to say, well, you should minimize. And he said, well, you should minimize. Well, minimizing the stuff I have is not going to take the storage unit away. So, I mean, it's my discretion, what items I want to get rid of in my storage unit. And then me having OCD, I feel like, well, I feel like I can't clean out my storage unit unless I can take a bath or a shower like afterwards. But everybody's bullying me, like trying to make me get rid of my storage unit to try to make it like, because if I say that, it's not that easy for me to leave Pensacola because, I got my storage unit and my main business here, but I don't know where else to go move to. And I'm disappointed because I wanted to go, it's so happened to be a couple of towers over and get the job. And the hindrances, they said that I can't have my earbuds. But it's like, I've tried housekeeping and laundry before, and with temp jobs or whatever, and the job at the Grand Canyon, I tried housekeeping, and the only difficulty I had was making the beds. And if one thing you can't do out of that whole task, then they make it like you're not fit for the job. So I mean, I could do everything else, but my motor skills and I guess cognitive or motor skills from the strokes that I had is why I have difficulty making the bids properly. And they would say that I don't make the bids tight enough. Well, I try as best as I could, and then they tell me I work too slow. So I can't move faster because then it'll make me clumsy and then have like an emotional and mental meltdown. I mean, I wish that they had more programs for people with disabilities that they can run their own company. And it seems like I wish Social Security could help. But I mean, they said that, with the ticket to work, you can work as much as you want without um, compromising your income for several months. But at the same time, you know, you know, I mean, for several months. I mean, but it's like, I mean, obviously I can't work at home or work from home because I don't have a home. But if I did, I know that me being a targeted individual trying to work from home, that would be the main times that the perp neighbors would do the noise campaigns and stuff like that. And like I remember when I was trying to do Skype and I was trying to see about teaching English in China, and those were perp recruiters that rejected me in the middle of the meeting. You know, I mean, like this one white female recruiter waited till the middle of the like she waited to like she act like she speak against racism, on her website, but then when she saw a picture of me being black, she she secretly went AWOL on me and went grocery shopping during the middle of the Skype meeting, like after an hour or so, I was able to get a hold of her, and she got really nasty with me. And then they had this young 23-year-old, I'm gonna call him a young kid, cause me being in my 30s, you know, he was also rude to me and cut the conversation and stuff like that. So I felt psychologically and mentally traumatized by it. It was like 2017, and I was trying to see about that opportunity of getting to teach English in China. And I heard that only white people are allowed to teach English in China. But if a black person wants to teach English in China, then it's very hard for them. And and I heard that it's crazy because Asians, they only want white Americans to teach them English. I heard that Asians who are Americanized, they get rejected too. Americanized Asians, they get blocked from, those teach English in China jobs as well. I'm like, this is insane. Your own people, so. But I was in New Orleans, my hometown, and they had a white lady who told me that, oh, you don't want to go to China if you hate cigarettes because, everybody in China smokes cigarettes. I'm like, well, damn, I can't go there, But now with COVID, it's harder for me to get to, or any of us to get to travel to different countries, So I mean, I just wish that people could have helped give me a hand up years ago. To be just. I mean, everybody blocked me from any ideas of what to do to better myself. And I'm just sitting in the house depressed for 4 years and stuff like that, you know, and nobody wanting to give me a chance or help me. I mean, I even tried years ago to try to see about going, like, just trying to explore opportunities, like to try to be an au pair nanny and stuff like that. And one time in 2009 or 2010, I remember crying because um, somebody was rude to me, and I said that I wanted to be an au pair nanny, but I was I it's like they were rude to me and told me I couldn't be an au pair nanny because I'm disabled. So I figured that that was a perp that did that, and I tried to take Spanish translation exam twice in New York, and they had this lady from New York University named Allison Dundee, and twice she stood me up, like once in 2007 and once in 2009, and she had me like really bawling my eyes out in tears. That I emailed her to tell her about, that I was interested in taking the exam, the Spanish to English translation exam. And then, you know, I and so I emailed her on time, and then she ignored my email, and I asked her why she ignored my email, and she gave everybody else the test, and so she turned around and deliberately and on purpose yelled at me and blamed me for her lack of sending me a copy of an email of the copy of the exam, the Spanish translation exam. And so then she had, when I confronted her about it the next day, I'm like, hey, I never received a copy of the test. And so she berated and laughed. I mean, she berated and yelled at me, and then figured she can punish me by giving me a more difficult test the next day and trying to say, well, you didn't tell me. No, I did tell you. I did email you, and I emailed you like a week or so in advance, way before the deadline, and then reminded you the day before another email. And so like after I cried, she laughed in my face and then hung up and then sent me the harder exam on purpose to try to ensure that I fail. And I did not realize that Allison Dundee from New York University, that she was a gang stalking perp that just one of the people who wanted to set me up to fail. And so that was one of the reasons why I moved to New York University, and I ended up. I moved to New York City to think I can try to go there, but then they forced me into the mental health homeless system, the homeless mental health system, and they, would not allow me to have a career, a job, get married, get pregnant, have kids, have a car, or none of that. And they just forced me to just go to these useless ass mental health groups where I have a bachelor's degree and they only want me to do first grade math classes. First grade math games on a computer all day. And then a second time, in 2011, I went to Los Angeles trying to hope I can get on my feet to try to go to translation school in Los Angeles, and try to get certificate in Spanish translation. That didn't work out. And I heard that it's hard for a black person, excuse me, trying to get the sand off my face from the beach from the other day. Like, I heard it's hard for a black person to get like a translation job. They only want other foreign people or white people. It's very hard for a black person to get to be a translator. People kept telling me that, but I don't know if they were just trying to discourage me, or if it was the real deal. So I didn't realize all this was part of the gang stalking. you know, this persecution and what I'm going through before I even realized the truth. And me just being, and even in Los Angeles, I spent like 4.5 years. Well, the first few months I spent like struggling with homelessness, and then I spent so many years in like locked up in my Section 8 house. Excuse me, feeling very depressed. You know, so damn, if I was over at the other spot, it would be dark and it wouldn't take up so much storage space on my phone. So I'm gonna try to go back to sleep. I was just mainly talking about how they're keeping me awake with vibrating and boiling my organs.